So I was wondering if how long it's gonna take to make Cyberpunk playable. That's kind of a joke, but not really. I mean, game development is hard, Making games is hard. Making any bug-free software is hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't line up, does it? Where does that line up? It's there. 1, 2, 3. It's more like there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, Cyberpunk makes Bethesda games look good. Oh boy. Yeah, let me just insult two completely different huge fandoms at the same time. Let's insult Cyberpunk fans and Bethesda fans at the same time. But it's true though. They know. They know. If they play the games, they know. They know what I'm talking about. Assassin's Creed has been around for a lot of years, and around in the middle there, it was a little bit disastrous, a little bit iffy in the middle there. But I think they've figured it out since then. Okay, what do I want? I want. Well, I mean that's not really sitting on anything, is it? 1, 2, 1, 2. The more important one is here. Assassin's Creed 3 was dubious, and then Assassin's Creed 4 was great. And then Assassin's Creed Syndicate, was it? Was it Syndicate? Syndicate was a little bit of a disaster. Wasn't that the women are too hard to animate? Wasn't that that was the woman were too hard to animate debacle? Was it Syndicate? Or was it the one before Syndicate? I forgot. Yeah, it got a bit iffy in the middle there. But I think they've solved it by now. The recent ones seem pretty good. Assassin's Creed Origins and then Assassin's Creed Valhalla? I haven't heard any complaints about those. So they probably figured out their production template, I guess. Their process. Process is so important. Especially when you're making a sequel every year or every couple of years. You want a reliable process that everybody understands. You don't want to reinvent the wheel every time. If you're gonna do a series, you don't want to reinvent the wheel every time. You want to just figure out a good process and stick to it. And I think Assassin's Creed, in the middle there, they didn't actually have a reliable process. Right. Because every game goes through a cycle. Pre-production, right, and then like prototyping, and like production, and then polish. Two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hearthstone. I guess Blizzard is fairly good at process. You can see it in Hearthstone. And back when they were still making StarCraft 2, you could see it in StarCraft 2. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Diablo has been a bit of a disaster. Trying to make Diablo 4 has been a bit of a disaster. Diablo 3 was a little bit of a disaster too, like it took them a long time to fix it. Hearthstone, they figured out a good process. But maybe Hearthstone is relatively easy. Well, no. No, let's not be too... Let's not understate how much they've accomplished. I mean, Hearthstone, you think, oh, they just go through expansions. They just like make new cards, design new cards, playtest them, do the art, and then release. Like they just do that like every 4 months, and that's it. But that's not really it, because Hearthstone, they also do other things. Like they add different game modes. There's like single player stuff, adventures, Book of Heroes, duels, battlegrounds. So the basic process of designing cards, playtesting cards, artwork, fine-tuning, release, like that process is fairly well established. But there's also like innovation alongside that. Like the new quest system, the new achievement system. The new reward system is much better than the old one, by the way. I'm getting like much more gold than I used to. I don't know what people are complaining about. I think it would have been fine the way they actually designed it. But then everybody complained for no damn reason, as far as I can tell. And now it actually gives out way more gold than they used to. I swear I'm getting like 50% more gold than I used to. At least. per expansion. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think the players were just greedy. I think they I think it would have been fine the way it was, and the players were just greedy. I'm getting so much more gold than I used to. People like to do that. People like to panic over nothing. Outrage. Outrage gets a lot of attention, regardless of whether it's justified. Which, I mean, I don't want to downplay outrage, because when it is justified, you should be angry, right? And there are plenty of things that you should be justifiably angry about. But man, the Hearthstone reward system was not it. It was not. Like, I never I never understood why. What are they complaining about? Turns out they were complaining about nothing. Turns out they were unjustified in their complaints. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Video game players being spoiled little kids. Who would have thought? Just the... Well, I was gonna say, like, just the arrogance of thinking that you know how things work better than the developers do. I mean, but then at the same time, the developers are also kind of bad at predicting the meta. Like the instances where they just release cards that turn out to be completely pointless. And then like people figure out some broken nonsense that completely break the game. I guess it's not that often. And maybe they're getting better at it. Yeah. It's a little bit strange having glass there, isn't it? Let me just close that off. Oh, wait a minute. That's a little weird, right? Let's not do that, let's do that. Um, Alright, that's pretty easy. And then we're back in the diagonal. There's a bit of a bridge here, right? Yes, there's a river right there. And we're gonna bridge across it. That's a little bit awkward. I don't want to stick a support right in the middle of the river there, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. Um, gonna do some retaining. There. Or I guess there as well. Oops. And then something glass. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something. 1, 2, 3. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. This side, that can go to the ground. This can go to the ground. I suppose that can go to the ground.